is Alex McWhorter, and I'm very excited to present to you today, Mr. COO, the selection matrix I have over several different aircraft we're looking to buy today. We're going to go over a lot of different options and price points for the aircraft and look at everything that is going to bring value to the company. And I'm very excited to present to you today the TBM 930, the CJ4, the Learjet 35 Alpha, and the Pilatus PC-12, all great aircraft that can be utilized by our company. We're going to look at the highest values that our company thinks would be the most useful pertaining to our company. Is the purchase price is at a 3. We thought the purchase price, is pretty important, but overall it's the value you get out of your plane. Then cabin volume is pretty important as well, as far as how many passengers you can carry, and that value factor we thought was extremely important because that's how much you're actually how much you're actually getting out of your aircraft, as long as the payload with max fuel. So how much can you take when the plane is fueled? Now it might sound odd, but when the plane is at full fuel, that limits the amount of weight it can actually carry. And then we're looking at direct costs for 300 nautical miles and the maintenance cost. So how much is this plane going to cost us to actually utilize and maintain? And then the lowest values we decided on was the age, and the age kind of correlates with the maintenance. So the older an aircraft is, usually the more maintenance is going to need to be done on it. And then wing loading and range with max payload are both that too, and we'll show you why here in a second. Let's look at the price and the value factor. So by far, the CJ4 is the most expensive, just over $9 million. And the Learjet being by far the cheapest at just over $1 million. And now these aircraft both have their advantages and disadvantages. TBM just a little over $4 million with the Pilatus PC-12 just over 2. And the value you're going to get out of your plane, you can see the CJ4 has the most, although it's the most expensive, followed by the Learjet, then the Pilatus and the TBM. Let's look at the high value items we're going to compare. First, we're going to look at the cabin volume. So the cabin volume is just about the same between the Pilatus and the CJ4. So you can fit the most. It's got the most space. It's got the most seats. It's most spacious. Followed by the Learjet, and then the TBM 930 with the least. Payload with max fuel. You can see that TBM is just under 600 pounds. So you can only take around 600 pounds at full fuel, which is something to consider because you also have to take into account the pilot. So besides the pilot, you can maybe take 2 if you're stretching at 3 people and some baggage. And the Learjet 35 Alpha has by far the most payload with max fuel. So if you're looking to take a lot of people and a lot of baggage, this is going to be your best bet. And if we look for the cost per 300 nautical miles, it's the jets that are the most expensive to maintain, but they're also the fastest. And then the turboprops are the cheapest. And the turboprops are going to be better for short trips. So they're more fuel efficient for short trips. Jets are more fuel efficient at high altitudes, which takes time to get up to. So if you're looking to take more trips over a larger distance, the jets are going to be for you. And then the maintenance cost, by far the least, is the TBM. TBM is very cheap to maintain. It's also got the lowest cost per 300 nautical mile. So if you're looking at value as far as short flights, TBM is the main plane. And then you got the maintenance cost for the Learjet per hour being the most expensive, and that's because the Learjet's the oldest, is 27 years old, and we'll look at the age of that later. And then the Pilatus is the third highest in maintenance costs, and then the CJ is also pretty cheap for maintenance cost per hour, and that's again because it's that one's going to be a brand new plane. And then we're going to look at the lower value comparison. So the range of the max payload is all fairly similar, hovering around 1,500, except for that CJ, which is just under 2,000. So if you're looking for long trips, the CJ might be for you. And then looking at wing loading and age, we can see the TBM and the CJ4 have no values. That's because they're brand new, straight off the line. Then the Learjet and the Pilatus. The Learjet's 27 years old. Pilatus is about 14. These aircraft are older, but they're still. It just correlates really to a maintenance cost. And then wing loading, by far the Learjet, which makes sense because it can take the most weight at full fuel. And wing loading is just how much the aircraft can sustain in loads and turbulence, things like that. And then we look at totals, and totals, so we can see they're not too dissimilar. The Learjet 35 Alpha is the lowest on the total section, with the Pilatus and the CJ4 being neck and neck. And now the Learjet does have the lowest totals, but if you're looking for the most weight at the most range, the Learjet's for you. And TBM being the cheapest, but then you have that cheapest to maintain, but then you have that issue with how much you can take at full fuel. and then the Pilatus PC12 and the CJ4 are neck and neck. So it's really up to you. I hope I've given you a lot of options to think about, and I know you'll make the right decision about what's best for our company. Thank you for listening.